I came so close to selling off my entire XRP bag last week. No joke, I was hovering over the sell button, ready to be done with it, when one single tweet from Raoul Pal stopped me dead in my tracks. Now, if you don't know who Raoul Pal is, let me fill you in. He's kind of a heavyweight in the world of investing. He used to run hedge funds, and these days, he's the CEO of Global Macro Investor. Basically, when this guy speaks about markets, especially crypto, people tend to listen. So when Raoul tweeted that altcoins, including XRP, are on the verge of a brand new growth phase as money shifts out of Bitcoin, my ears perked up big time. In his update, he described the crypto market like a waiting room. Picture a bunch of projects sitting around, waiting for their turn to be called. Ethereum's number got called first, and it's already out of the room, shooting up almost 70% since July to new highs. Then, he says, Solana is next in line, followed by a newer project called Sui. But here's where it got really interesting. Raoul said, XRP isn't waiting anymore. It's already in what he called full port mode, meaning it's in the process of moving straight to higher levels. Now, as someone who's held XRP through years of pain, patience, and sideways action, hearing that felt like a jolt of caffeine straight to the heart. Could this finally be it? Could this be the breakout that XRP holders have been dreaming about for years? I had to dig in. The second I saw Raoul's tweet, I jumped into our Discord community, link in the description if you're not in there yet, and asked, am I crazy? Or did Raoul Pal just signal XRP is about to explode? Within seconds, the chat blew up. Dozens of people were posting rocket emojis, mind-blown memes. It was pure excitement. If you've ever been in a Discord when major news drops, you know the vibe. It's like being in a sports bar when the underdog team suddenly takes the lead. That's the energy we had. So, let's break this all down. Bitcoin has just had an absolute monster run, blasting to a new all-time high around 124.0. Wild. But, as always, it cooled off and started to retrace a little. And if you've been around this space long enough, you know what that usually means. Altcoin season. Historically, once Bitcoin takes a breather, capital and attention flow into alts. Raoul's waiting room analogy really nails this cycle. Ethereum's run has already happened, Solana is gearing up, and XRP, he says, is already accelerating. Now, that term full porting sounds odd, but basically, he means XRP has officially entered its growth phase. No more waiting. The rocket engines are firing. At first I was skeptical. XRP has teased us before. Back in July, it jumped about 35% in days, only to stall out in August. That's been XRP's story for years. Hype, excitement, and then nothing. But Raoul backed his claim with a chart that went all the way back to 2014. And when I looked at it, I had to admit it was eye-opening. XRP's price history looks like it's stuck on repeat. Long stretches of boring sideways movement, followed by explosive breakouts. It's happened multiple times. Cycle 1. From 2014 to late 2016, XRP drifted under a penny, forming a descending triangle. Painful, right? But then came late 2016 into 2017, and boom, XRP broke out and ran to a legendary peak of 3.86 by January 2018. Cycle 2. The crash after 2018, XRP dropped back to around 10 cents, but the chart formed a falling wedge, a classic bullish reversal pattern. By late 2020, XRP broke out again and rallied to nearly 2 in early 2021. Cycle 3. From mid-2021 to late 2024, XRP was back in consolidation mode, forming another massive triangle. Finally, in November 2024, it broke out once again, rocketing back above 1, then 2, even 3. And now here we are, sitting just under 3, consolidating again, this time in a smaller pennant pattern. Traders love pennants, because they usually signal continuation. In other words, XRP could be gearing up for the next leg higher. If XRP breaks upward, we could be talking about 5 or higher. If it fails, we might revisit 1.7 to 2 before trying again. Either way, we're at a pivotal moment. Now, this repeating pattern is exciting enough, but Raoul is a macro thinker, and he sees the big picture. He points to global liquidity, the money sloshing around in the system, as the true driver of crypto cycles. Historically, Bitcoin has tracked global M2 money supply with a lag. When liquidity rises, Bitcoin rallies, and then alts follow. Right now, global liquidity is strong. The US, China, Japan, and Europe are all running huge debts, which means they can't keep interest rates too high for too long. They're forced to keep money flowing, which is fuel for risk assets like crypto. On top of that, Wall Street and institutions are piling in. Bitcoin ETFs are live, Ethereum ETFs are doing well, and whispers of XRP-related financial products are starting to grow louder. Sovereign wealth funds and big banks are exploring crypto. Raoul says it feels a lot like 2017 all over again, the wildest altcoin season ever. And, in his view, this bull run might stretch into 2026, giving altcoins even more time to shine. But before we start daydreaming about 10XRP, let's bring in another voice, Bill Morgan, a lawyer and respected voice in the XRP community. Bill basically said, "Look, Raoul's cool names don't move markets. Adoption, demand, and sentiment do. And he's right. Fancy terms won't magically pump our bags. For XRP to truly sustain growth, real-world adoption has to increase. And we are seeing progress banks in Asia and the Middle East using Ripple Tech, U.S. exchanges relisting XRP after the court ruling that it's not a security for retail sales. These are good signs, but they have to scale. So, where does that leave me? Honestly, cautiously optimistic. The technicals look bullish. The macro backdrop is supportive. Adoption is slowly improving. It feels like the stars are aligning. But this is crypto. Things can flip in an instant. My plan? I'm holding my XRP. I've been in too long to give up now. If we break above 3 with conviction, I might even add to my position. If we dip back under 2, I'll consider that a discount, as long as the bigger picture still looks solid. Either way, I'm ready for both scenarios. And honestly, what helps me stay sane is our community. Having people to bounce ideas off of, to keep me from FOMOing into green candles or panic-selling red ones that's invaluable. If you're not in our Discord yet, jump in. The link's in the description. So, what's the bottom line? Patience. XRP has tested us like no other crypto, but if Raoul's analogy holds true, XRP's number may finally be called in this waiting room we've all been stuck in. The charts, the macro setup, the fundamentals they're lining up in a way we haven't seen in years. Maybe this time, the breakout really is the one we've been waiting for. So, if you found this useful, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.